what makes this whole sequence of fights, or what makes Thallumaala actually interesting and cool, is the difference maker, and that difference maker is the main ingredient, which is cinematography and editing. I've never seen more innovative scene transitions than this ever in my life, across India and abroad. I mean, you just cannot take your eyes off for a minute, because you might end up missing something really cool, and it is just so thoughtful. Each and every transition is so well thought out. It connects to the next scene so very well, and and the screenplay is another plus point. I felt the way they jump back and forth between present and flashback, and yet another flashback, and yet another flashback. You get the gist. If you have seen the film, you'll understand what I'm trying to say here. It's just interesting enough to keep you engaged all the time. And the color tone and the costumes, I have to mention them, especially because they are kept very eye-catching, which adds so much value to the substance quotient of the film. And acting-wise, I just loved everyone's work. Tovino and his gang members, and Shine and his gang members, and of course Kalpana. I mean, she's actually the glue between the two gangs. The glue of the film. And I think I was halfway forming a crush on her when I watched Hridayam, and I think I've crossed that the other half, and I think she looked so amazing. She acted so well. The balance, the sweet spot she found between being this a vlogger and this very rowdy sort of no fucks given chick. I mean, that I just loved this character and the way she portrayed it, the way the director has written this character. I just loved it. I have to say that it's one thing to make a film look cool, and especially a genre like dark comedy, which is not as much explored in India, which is not as much well executed in India when it's explored, and it's almost an altogether different thing not to make the film end up, looking pretentious, or not to overdo it. And I think the director here finds a perfect balance between style and substance. I mean, for argument's sake, one could say that story-wise, it's nothing great. It's very one-dimensional. There's not a lot happening. It gets a little predictable as well. But I mean, Thallumaala, the title itself, it means sequence of fights. And it is just so apt. The title is so apt. I just feel that, they made a whole film out of that one term. Funny as it may sound, but when the title itself tells us enough about the film, you shouldn't really expect anything more or less, than an actual 2-hour, 30-minute long action sequence, right? The comic timing and the black humor of the film is absolutely gold. I just had a ball start from the beginning and until the end, especially that whole sequence in the car when they are all fighting, and suddenly the expressions get back to normal once they come out and they are greeted by the guests. So that was absolutely hilarious. I really cracked on that one, and I think I rewinded it and watched it again on repeat a couple of times. I mean, that's one thing you couldn't have done in theatre, so probably that's the plus point of watching it on OTT at home. Overall, it's an incredible entertainer about a man-child and his gang, and another man-child and his gang who refuse to grow up, who let their ego get the better of them, losing control over themselves in situations where, one can easily let go of things. And I enjoyed it. I love the fact that even until the end, even after all the consequences, they were still the same. And I actually know such people in real life. I've met men like that, especially the North Belt where I come from, Delhi, Haryana and Punjab and all, UP, where men are just always ready to take up a fight. And they just need a reason. They just need a reason to call their gang members and, you know, get them and, you know, just do what they know best. So I loved the fact that, you know, they never changed until the end, and that was the USP of the film. Do watch this film if you have not. It's streaming on Netflix, and a huge thanks to everybody who recommended me this film, and keep subscribing, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.